Is your mother still with us?
Yes. I
Okay.
should have put that on there. Yeah, I should have. I usually lead with that, but yeah, she's still here, getting on my
And
nerves, but she's still here.
how's she doing? She's doing well.
Yeah. Yes.
And
So,
how has she influenced you in stand up,
um,
and how has she enjoyed your progression?
she it goes back and forth because my comedy is also adult content. So if I'm gonna talk about banging, then that's just what I'm gonna talk about, and you just gotta sit there and take it to the face, pun intended. But I think she's seen me in so many different venues, and the one time where she really kind of got that this is what I do is we were in Louisville, Kentucky. We were out there for, I don't know what we were out there for, and I asked the club for a guest spot. The club that night was hosting the Blue Collar Comedy Tour. And so when I tell you a room full of Louisville rednecks was in there, and I was like, I asked for it. My family's in town. We're going to do it. And I actually ended up having a really good set. And my mom was like, I didn't think that you would be able to cross over, but she never really paid attention. She just knew that I wasn't using my degree anymore. So she didn't care. But once she saw me be able to relate to a whole different genre of people, she was like, oh, I get it. Maybe you're a professional.
Uh, it's so nice when you finally get that connection with your parents about, so many people don't say anything to their parents until they're actually at a level where you're comfortable telling them and you're comfortable showing them your stand up.
Mm-hmm.
And there's that moment which you're like, all right, this is what I do. You can accept it or you can't. And I know a lot of people whose family do not accept it. I'm very
Yeah.
fortunate to have a supportive family.
For me, my mom, I know she's proud of like where I am now because she tells other people. It's still hard for her to necessarily tell me as far as comedy. But when I quit my good government job, I didn't tell her for like it was almost a year, I think. I just kept acting like I was going to work. And she wasn't even in Minnesota. She was in Minnesota. I was in LA. But I was still like, yep, good day at work today. I was not working. I was struggling.
How was that transition from working full time during the day into did you transition into just doing stand up, or was it TV as well?
So when I first quit the county, I transitioned into just doing comedy. But it was weird how I left the county. So when I was at the county, I was in an entertainment flag football league. And in this entertainment flag football league, I ended up dislocating my shoulder. So my shoulder popped out. I went on disability from the county. During that time, I was on disability for like a year. But during that time, I was booked in where'd I go? I went to Korea, Japan, and some other places. Like I just kept working. I was doing colleges, and I was like, oh, comedy's easy. I don't need to go back to work. So I quit. And the moment I quit, all of a sudden the jobs dried up. So no one told me that this stuff doesn't keep going. I didn't know that you can be hot one minute and cold the next. That's just, somebody should have told me to keep my job, but they didn't. So in that time, I did what it takes. Like I'm a Midwest chick, I'm going to work. So I did a couple independent contracting things in the social work business. Then I went to a couple of restaurants. I ended up managing a restaurant for like 3 years. And it wasn't until, was that three years ago or so, where I moved on to Funny You Should Ask as a full-time position. But I was always doing little things, but still trying to keep food on my table.